Things just got worse and worse and worse as the night went on. Again, valiant effort down the stretch for the Bucs. Just too little, too late. Let's go down and let's see what Coach Fletch and the rest of the crew has to say. And as always, go Bulls. So let's head into the locker room right now and see what the guys have to say about that one. Wow. Where do the Buccaneers go from here? What an incredible atmosphere. What a good win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. They snapped a 7-game winning streak. How we feeling, Bucs Nation? It's time to party, baby.
All right, let's do this thing. Welcome to the Recher podcast. Happy July 31st, 2025. Wow, where has the year gone? My God, 7 months in the book. August 1st, tomorrow. What the hell, friends? What the heck is going on? 2025 is just zipped right through. Holy smokes. What is going on to everybody out there? Love you all. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. Like and subscribe on YouTube, man. We're getting up there. We're getting up there. 1650, baby. 1650. I can't. It's extremely humbling. 30 something last November. Now up to 1650. We got to keep this thing going. They were telling me it's a slow burn when it comes to growing these subscribers. My nephew Lawson wants me to get 5G by the end of the season, by the end of the year. Oh, Jesus, by the end of the year. Let's try to get 2,000 by the end of August. That should be the goal. 5,000, you never know. Football season is an ultimate boost, right? Exponentially, you're going to grow. So like David Terry, you're there, DT, you know. Let's get it up to 5,000. Shout out to you, my friend. RIP Ozzy. Shout out to Benny as well. Always want to hear from you guys. Questions, comments, concerns, leave them there at the bottom of the screen, as well as our guy Dolan. Yep. Zach Littell, gone, traded. So no surprise there. We'll have plenty of baseball talk on the program today. We haven't seen any other minor moves for the Tampa Bay Rays. We'll get into that here momentarily. But, man, they were just waiting. Mason Miller, that's a huge move. The closer for the Oakland Athletics going to San Diego. Listen, if you're a Padres fan, you haven't really won anything, right? Recently. I mean, you have all these stars. I mean, you traded for Juan Soto a couple years ago, but you have You have Fernando Tatis Jr. in right field. You have Xander Bogaerts. You have all these. You have Manny Machado at third base. You have all these good players on your team, but it hasn't resulted into the ultimate goal, which is the World Series. But every single year, AJ Preller, their general manager, goes for it. And I think if you're a Padres fan, that's all you can really ask for, right? You're not going to win it every year, but at least you get an opportunity to go for it. I think that's what Rays fans kind of want from their guys too. If you're not going to get, all right, you're not going to win it. Only one team is going to be able to get there. But my God, man, at least go for it. Shit. Shout out to Lady Evil, Greg DeCruz, 5,000, baby. Let's go. Let's go. All right. Great show as always for you guys today. We'll talk a little Buccaneers training camp. I was just out there. Shout out to my guy, Bart Hill. He is the man. Buccaneers training camp. It was another hot one out there today. So we'll hear from Todd Bowles. We'll also hear from Rachaad White as well. Excited about Rachaad White there in the 2025 season. Not many people are talking about him, but you're hearing it right here on the Recher podcast. So we'll talk about training camp. We'll also discuss the MLB trade deadline and the latest there. TJ Rives, Buccaneers sideline reporter, is going to join us at 12:30 today. We'll have our guy Greg Wolf. I call him Mr. Tampa Bay at 1 o'clock. Another win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. What do I mean? Greg, third leg Greg. Greg Wolf, TBL, join us at 1 o'clock. And then, of course, MLB trade deadline stuff here today. Tomorrow on the program, it's going to be a short one. I have training camp. We're going to start training camp right off the rip, 12:30. We'll talk, of course, MLB trade deadline. We're going to do a SummerSlam roundtable for about 20 minutes as well. It's going to be a quick hitter. I got Corey Long coming on. David Shilley coming on from Channel 10. We'll see who else. We're probably going to get JC Allen on as well from Bucs Game Day and SI. So we'll do that quickly. I got to be off at 1 o'clock tomorrow because my flight leaves at 2:30, heading up to New York. We got a family reunion on Saturday, and then I'll be back Monday night. I'll be doing the show on Monday from my parents' house up in New York. So that should be fun as well. Jeff Taylor, my guy. What's up, Jaber? Thank you so much for all the love and support. It's been really fun. really fun to be able to converse with you guys and just to be with you. Nathan Elliott. I got a chance to meet Nathan Elliott today, longtime Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan and listener of WDAE. Okay, thank you. WDAE and the Recher podcast. If you guys ever see me out in public, make sure you come up and say hello. It's really great to chat with Nathan Elliott today. He is the man. He's got a freaking hotel in South Carolina he's working on. It's going to have a Bucs theme with a pizza, with selling pizza. Like, I can't wait. I'm like, dude, finish that hotel and I'll definitely be one of your patrons. That is going to be really, really good stuff there. And make sure you guys, please contribute any way you can. If you want to be a sponsor, like our first ever sponsor on the podcast, Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC. My guy, Russ, he is the best licensed, insured, and bonded general contractor. 813-244-0956. There's the QR code right there. Again, thehonesthammer.com. If you're looking for a bathroom or a kitchen remodel, just have a question. Hey, what should I do? 813-244-0956. Give my guy Russ a call from Honest Hammer Custom Builders, LLC. And tell them that you heard it right here on the Recher podcast. Look at my guy, Mike Frimpter, in the house. What's up, dude? How's the throwing arm? Throwing arm is never going to be good. It's my leg. It's the hitches and the giddy ups down here. I can't really run that much. Can't really throw anymore. One of these days, maybe if this podcast goes huge and we're making hundreds of thousands of dollars, then I'll have time. Well, not time. Then I'll have the money to be able to afford all these surgeries that I need, because I really want to be able to play softball again, but I can't really run. I can't throw, so it's just I can swing it. That's pretty much it. Shout out to Greg. You know, buddy, it's all about the dedication. But yeah, if you guys can contribute via the super chat, you can donate $1, $5, $10, $20. Every little bit helps. So if you go in the super chat and you can help out, I would really, really appreciate it. All right, Buccaneers training camp today. What did I see? The offense. Thank the Lord. The offense woke up. The offense showing up and showing out. How about it? How about it? The defense has been dominating training camp so far, but the offense stepped up. It's going to be a lot of quick hitters this year. You're not going to see this long developing offense where they're going to be pushing the ball down the field a lot. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen. It's going to be the same stuff that we saw last year. And I don't think that's a terrible thing at all. Dink and dunk, run the football, rely on your running game. Take some of the pressure off your offensive line, especially with Tristan Wirfs not being out there. It just makes a lot of sense. Don't try to reinvent the wheel here. Just keep doing the same thing. Keep doing what worked last year. And that's why, and I said this, I was on with Pat and Aaron today. I am not one of those guys when I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking, all right, Bucky Irving's going to have to do everything. He's going to be a big part of the offense. Don't get me wrong. But listen, he's not a big guy. And he's a guy that got picked up a couple of knocks last year. So I am still very high on Rachaad White. I think this is a guy that can come in as your third down back. He can come in as a change of pace kind of back. And what does he do well, guys? He picks up the blitz and he catches the ball out of the backfield. That's in essence what you want in your third down back. So I really enjoy what Rachaad White does. I love his demeanor. I love that he's available. I love that he's coming lighter. He's 211, 212. I think this is a prove-it year for Rachaad White in year 4. He knows it's a contract year. You're wondering what his future looks like with this team. I know we have Sean Tucker, but you need an entire running back room. It's a long season. You're taking a lot of hits. And again, when I look at a guy like Bucky Irving, I'm a little concerned. I'm a little concerned that he got banged up 3 times last year. And he wasn't even the starter. He's a small guy. He runs hard. He's not shying away from contact. So it's something to be cognizant of. And I don't really subscribe to the people that are like, oh, Rachaad White, you should move on. You should trade him. Nah, not at all. I don't agree with that whatsoever. I would not try to get Rachaad White. You need that whole room because you never know when guys are going to go down. Like Rachaad, we saw it last year. So all those guys, utilize everybody, keep them fresh, and go from there. Rachaad White spoke over at the Avon Training Center at One Buccaneer Place earlier today. And let's hear what Rachaad had to say.
Being better conditioned, faster, quicker.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like coaching staff, they like to, tell me. So yeah, I just got stand up, every finish plays that we get in and out of cuts, be better reactive, just playing ball. I think I have to go and pretty much feel like I got one that day.
Trey, you talked about it in the summer, OT. How much later are you?
Right now we're like 212 to 11. Every day I would finish. So I stay right now. I like it. It's just smooth. Feel good.
Who were you training with this offseason? I saw some videos of you, Bucky, Jalen, Baker.
Yeah, it was a lot of us training. And man, shout out to Suka, man. That's what we be training at. Baker cut us on. Training with Dylan, Brian, BT, Brett. We started a good system there. A lot of us go there and train together and go together and just have fun.
This offense, very similar to last year. Rives was here. He was calling the plays now. Everybody's back in terms of starters on offense. What is different? Like, what new wrinkle have you seen Josh bring to this offense to put his own little spin on it?
I just think he got a lot of different plays, different things that marries up with one another. Especially like two-back stuff, they both have to do together, or in general, just getting guys easy touches to get non-space to cover. So I've said it's been a lot of good things. I mean, the terminology, some of it has been different, some of it has been the same. Like I said, it's just good to have basically all the guys back and add more pieces like Meg, Tez, other guys we got that can do plays.
What is the potential of this offense? How good can it be?
Obviously, it was pretty good. Last year, really good. I think we can just take that to a whole nother level. I think the good part about it is you got a lot of guys that's kind of good in space. And so, obviously, Mike and Chris out there, and they do what they do, but just getting us, getting the ball out of space, just making plays, and getting playmakers.
So there you have it, our guy Rachaad White. I just love the maturity. Love the maturity for this kid. And listen, it's kind of like the elephant in the room, right? This guy was a starter going into last season. He was RB1, and he was doing all the media rounds, right? We had him in studio with Jay and Zach, and he's just, listen, he was trying to build his brand, and deservedly so. And then the season happened, and he was solid, not spectacular. And here comes Bucky Irving. He's a fan favorite. Everybody's freaking out. They love the guy. And it's Rachaad kind of took a little bit of a back seat, and this team really kind of hit their gear when Bucky was RB1 and Rachaad White came in as RB2. And I think as far as their skills go, that might actually work out better for a guy like Rachaad, because as I alluded to before, he's better at picking up the blitzes. You're going to hear that from Todd Bowles here in a second. And also being able to catch the ball out of the backfield. Dolan's saying, without a doubt, Bucky cannot handle the brutality of 17 games. The Bucs must rotate Rachaad and Sean collectively so they can all make the running game solid. And that's something that we know is not easy to do. We know that it's tough to rotate three backs in. And a lot of people forgot about that, but that's one of the first things that Liam Cohen said last year. He said that one of the hardest things to do when he saw that, I forgot where he was, maybe it was with the Rams, rotating three backs is not easy. And then what happened? Then Rachaad goes down, Bucky and Sean go off, and it's like, all right, now we have to rotate three. So yeah, man, it's a good problem to have, but I hope that this is something going into this year that Josh Grizzard, really focuses on. Really does a good job of making sure that he gets all these guys touches and keeps, the onus and not putting so much stress on Bucky Irving, because as much as everybody wants to see him as their number one fantasy running back and a guy that's going to be the lead tailback for this team, the entire season, it's more important to be able to make sure that Bucky's healthy at the end of the year rather than the beginning. If you guys want to hop in on the conversation, here is the link. What do you think about the Buccaneers running game? There you go, StreamYard.com/F4FS3IEBJ2. Just click on the link there in the chat. Whether you're on the phone or on the laptop, you can definitely chime in on the conversation today. I see you, Eric, in there. DT, with Tristan being out, we're going to have to rely on the run game a lot more. Hopefully we don't abuse Bucky early in the season. That's right. It's going to be bruising, and people are going to know that. People are going to understand that that's what they're going to focus on. Use the run, and they're going to do that even if Tristan was healthy, right? They're going to use the run to set up the pass. That's just the way that this offense is really going to be able to achieve high levels, and especially with a guy like Baker Mayfield, right? That's the way that they're going to be successful. So, sorry, I just have a smudge here. Run the football, and utilize everybody you have back there. That includes Rashad White and Sean Tucker. Dolan, it'd be nice for the Bucs to figure out how to keep Rashad, but I wouldn't be mad at him if he can go somewhere else and get paid. That's the nature of the beast, right? It's the nature of the beast. If that's the way, he's earned it, right? The NFL stands for not for long. It stands for not for long. And you have to make sure you go get your money while you can. There's no sport that we see that there's less of a trust when it comes to the contracts than football, man. Owners are trying to get out from under that money. The players are trying to squeeze every last drop they can. So, yeah, it's just, again, that's the nature of the beast. Todd Bowles also spoke earlier today, including about Rashad White, Chris Braswell, and a whole lot more. Here is what Todd had to say. Let's bring him up real quick. Bring this down. Todd Bowles from earlier today. And listen, Todd, looking smooth as silk. He is ready to go, and he looks like this team is ready to go for this season as well. Here's the gaffer, as they call him in soccer, the head coach, Todd Bowles.
Win for the defense or fail for the offense?
No, I mean, we let the penalties go both ways just so we can see him execute what we're trying to execute. We got to be better offensively. So it would have been over with the sacks, but defensively it was going for both penalties. So a lot of back and forth. We're just trying to get the situation in.
How was it to have Coach Prime come visit you last week?
He came to visit his son. He didn't come visit me. he strictly came to see Shiloh. I guarantee you he didn't come see me. Not that I don't like him, but, he's probably going to visit his son. Who wouldn't be proud to have his son trying out in the NFL?
Yeah.
Tom, what have you seen from Chris Braswell in year 2 in terms of his development?
Just understanding the scheme a little more, and he leaned up a little bit, allowing him to play faster. He's come off the ball a lot faster than he was last year because he knows what to do and he knows how to do it. And now he's just letting his ability take over. He's worked all year with Yaya. They become very tight, and his work ethic's outstanding, and he's put it to use.
How more important is it for him to level up now that you don't have David Walker as part of that rotation?
Walker had no part of him leveling up anyway. He was going to level up whether he took Walker or not. Second year, he's supposed to be better, and he is better when expecting him to play better, and he's up to this.
Todd, it's a veteran group at inside linebacker, but curious what you see from some of the new undrafted free agents with Nick Jackson and John Bullock.
Both Nebraska and Iowa are very smart football players. They pick the scheme up very well, and it's hard to keep saying they're rookies when they do everything normal. It's almost rare when they make a mistake. So both of them got a very strong stance and had a very strong showing. It'd be great to see them in the preseason games.
There you go. Head coach Todd Bowles speaking after training camp today. I mentioned it on the show yesterday. Chris Braswell is a guy that's been standing out, and I really like what I've seen from him. So hopefully he can make a contribution. And again, regardless of what happened with David Walker, Braswell has to step up. All right, if you want to join in on the conversation, make sure you click on the link right here, streamer.com/F4FS3IEBJ2. You want to talk Bucs, you want to talk Rays, click on that link in the chat on your phone or your laptop, and you join in on the conversation. Like our guy, Eric Moreno. What's going on, E? How are things?
Good. Enjoying the weather in Colorado, man. It's like 120 heat index in Florida. And
Don't remind me.
It's like 83 in Colorado here today.
Oh, nice. What are you doing there?
Just visiting some family. We're going to go up to Grand Lake and do some things with the fam.
Nice, man. That's awesome. What do you got for us today? What do you want to talk about Bucs wise?
Yeah, I think I got a question for you. Do you think worse? I heard he was still on crutches, but he took off the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
You think worse will be back before Godwin, or they still haven't been practicing?
That's a good question. I'm going to say yes. I think Wirfs will be back before Godwin. They're going to be very, very cautious with Chris because of who they have there, right? They have Emeka Ibuka. They got Jalen McMillan. Of course, Mike's there.
Tez Johnson.
Tez is going to be more of a special teamer and kind of a scat back kind of guy because he's going to do a lot of his work, in the slot. But that's where Emeka is probably going to play before Chris is there. But I look at these two injuries and I see Chris, and you don't see Chris a lot. you see Tristan every day, right? So that's the thing is like Tristan's out there. I posted the video before. He's on like the dual canes thing, and he's moving pretty quickly for a guy. He's not like, walking gingerly. Like it's pretty funny.
Yeah, he's had surgery, 3 weeks ago or something like that?
So, I mean, this is a guy that, I have a lot of faith that Tristan, that he's going to be able to come back. He gets banged up, seemingly every year, but he's able to come back even if he gets injured in the middle of the season. So, yeah, I'm with you, man. I think Tristan Wirfs will be back. I'm not too concerned about him. And I think the team looks at it as like, if we can hold down the fort, I think he's going to be okay. But certainly something to be aware of.
Would you be surprised if they both opened the season on reserve PUP? They would have to miss 4 games, right? Or is it 3?
It's 3 now.
3?
I don't know if they'll do that because it's unsure, right? Because how the injuries have happened when they occurred. Obviously, Chris's last year and Tristan's, they were able to get to it before even training camp started. I'd be surprised because I was talking to somebody yesterday and they said Tristan may only be out for 2 games instead of 4. So if that's the case, if there's a chance that either one of these guys can come back in week 3, I don't think it just, are you really going
to be on the active roster in the
you're going to be on the active roster.
Week.
Now you're going to obviously miss players, right? Because that's taking up a roster spot. So it's kind of the gamble that the Buccaneers have to take early on in the season. You would hope you're at your healthiest. So certainly something to be cognizant of. And this is the thing, you can't really tell a lot of things with training camp, but you can tell, I think, over the weeks of guys that are injured, like what they do. Like if Tristan is without the canes next week and he's kind of moving around a little bit, I think that bodes well when you're looking at his, recovery and if we're going to see him early on in the season.
Some doctor, I don't know, he said 2 to 3 months. So he's had surgery 3 weeks ago. That's, right. I mean, you got to be cautious, I'd rather him miss 2-3 games and come back and like, and then he's down. I'm like, here we go.
Yeah, I'm not one of those things where like we see with Shane McClanahan with the Rays, like he keeps getting hurt. You're like, oh my gosh,
he's never yesterday, right? Or Monday?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and he wasn't feeling too great either. So that's the thing with these 2 Bucs injuries. I'm not overly concerned if those guys are both placed on the PUP list and they're out for the first 3 weeks, because this team, it's not as much as you would love to. I think that they can beat the Falcons in week 1 without either one of those guys. Right, so there's no reason for them to rush back. And with this Buccaneers schedule,
against Charlie, that's by me.
Yeah, it's scary, but they're still young, right? And when you're the Buccaneers, you can put Keith out there to help him. You can run in that direction to help him going forward. You can run.
Cade can block too.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Cade has been out. So Cade's been out for a couple of practices now, and I was going to say this before, is that they're getting a lot of opportunities, and they being Payne Durham and Devin Culp. And when you look at this Buccaneers team, especially at the tight end spot, and Todd Bowles has already come out and said, yeah, I'm watching Devin Culp. Like, this guy was tight end 3 going into the year last year. And Todd Bowles said after practice the other night that he's one of the guys that I'm keeping an eye on. So that shows, and that tells us that he really likes the kid. And if he can block just a little bit, I said this in my rapid reaction, if he can block just a little bit, this guy is a force already in the passing game. He's a nightmare in the red zone, and he runs like a bull. Like, he's out. Like, I just think to myself, who the hell is going to want to tackle Devin Culp? That is a big man, and when he gets moving, good luck. Eric, I appreciate the call, brother. Have a good time. I got to get to this Rays stuff before our talk with TJ Rives at 12:30 here. Have a good time in Colorado. Give me a shout soon.
All right, Jay.
You got it, pal. Good stuff. Love Eric Moreno. And listen, who was it? Jeff Taylor, our pal. Shout out, Eric. Hope you're doing well. We know Eric lost his pops a couple months back, and we're always here for him. No doubt about it. Look at these. The super chats rolling in. My guy, Chan Leonard. Yo, Jay, I know it's late, but welcome back. You were missed. Thank you, Chan. You are the best. Thank you, buddy. If you want to join in via the super chat, you'll get right to the top of the queue. Every little bit helps, guys. $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, whatever. Thank you guys so much. I could not do this without you, Chan. Thank you very, very much. Look at this one. LDBC's Most Wanted. Buenos Dias from California, Jay. Over under 850 for a Mecca Buka. I got over because the kid is special and God would have missed all September. I would go under. Not because I don't think he's a great player, but we got one football. And you're going to run the football early on in the season to try to, help you out with Tristan Wirfs not being there and Chris Godwin. Don't put not saying you are, but they're not going to put too much on Emeka Egbuka. I think he could be one of those guys down in his career that's going to be like a steady 900 guy every single year. He can have that Mike-like impact where it's consistently every single year. You're going to see that. I would take the under. Listen, hit me back. I will be happy to be wrong. 3 preseason games this year. Does that mean the third game is a full dress rehearsal, or would that be the second game this year? We're going to have to wait and see. There's going to be some changes. There's going to be some changes when it comes to the preseason because of what their schedule is and playing a regular season opponent in the preseason. So Todd Bowles mentioned that a little while ago, and we'll find out. Whatever he says now, it doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to happen in the preseason. It's almost like you have to wait until the day or two before, because that's when they kind of break things down. So when that comes out, we'll definitely pass that along to you. Guys, kill that like button. I know Chan just put something out there. We got a bunch of people watching. Kill that like button here. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. And share this on your social media platforms. Every like, every share, every subscription certainly helps. All right, let's get to this. TJ Reeves is going to join us here in a couple of minutes. Any news when it comes to the MLB trade deadline? Just mentioned a little while before, Mason Miller, the closer for the Oakland A's, well, soon to be Las Vegas A's, going to the San Diego Padres alongside starter JP Sears. And it's funny because I was just at Gardner Webb last weekend in North Carolina, and that is where Mason Miller went to college. And we're talking to his coach, and his coach is such a great guy. And you're thinking a guy like Mason Miller throwing 105 miles an hour, like routinely over 100. I'm surprised he wasn't a guy that was touted more as being one of the big pieces to move, because that's a game changer. You're talking about a guy that routinely over 100, 102, 103, and that back end of the bullpen with Robert Suarez and Jason Adams, like that's a problem. That team is legit. And I love what AJ Preller does. He is a guy that goes out there, and no matter what happens with this team, he is going to get everything he has, and he's going to make sure that he is going to pour through every single trade deal to see if he can make his team better. And I think a lot of people here locally would love for the Rays to have that same mindset. The Blue Jays have gone out and acquired Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, from the Cleveland Guardians. Remember, a couple of years ago, he's one of the best pitchers in all of baseball. Phillies go out and get Twins closer Joan Duran to help the back end of their bullpen, which has really struggled. They have Jose Alvarado, former Ray, but he got suspended for PED, so he won't be eligible in the postseason. The Mariners, after going to get Josh Naylor from the Diamondbacks last week, now they trade for Eugenio Suarez, their third baseman, who used to be with the Mariners. So they're going for it. You know what they have in their infield with J.P. Crawford. They got Randy Rosarino and Julio Rodriguez, and then the big dumper, Cal Raleigh, and one of the best starting rotations in all of baseball. I think they'll go out and try to get a bullpen piece to go with Munoz in the back end there. Seattle's going for it. I really, really appreciate them. And we look at the Rays and some of the moves that they have made so far. And, they trade Chad Littell for Brian Van Bell and left-handed pitching prospect Adam Serwanowski. And then they go and get Hunter Fiducia from the Dodgers for Serwanowski, reliever Paul Gervais, and Ben Rortvedt. Get Rortvedted. Again, another time of year when it comes to the Rays where you're just kind of sitting here like, are they going to move anybody of any sustenance? Are they going to bring in any kind of big names? I still, from some of the things that I've been hearing, don't be surprised if Pete Fairbanks gets traded within the division. If he gets traded to the Toronto Blue Jays, if he gets traded to the Boston Red Sox, that could happen. Taj Bradley to the St. Louis Cardinals is something that I just keep hearing over and over and over again. It's going to take a lot for them to move guys like Yandy Diaz and Brandon Lau. They're not going to sell those guys on the cheap. They're not going to trade them for peanuts. The trade deadline's at 6:00 today. So if the Rays make a big move, we may go live later on today. The Rays game will be over because it is a day game. So we'll probably go live later on today to talk about the Rays deals if they make a big deal. If it's a small deal, probably not. But we might go live a little bit later on today, depending on what happens at the MLB trade deadline. So One of my favorite days of the year. I do love the trade deadlines, especially more in the MLB and the NHL because you see a ton of moves. Imagine if the NFL trade deadline was as crazy as the MLB, NBA, and NHL trade deadline. It would just be another coup, another feather in the cap of the most popular sport in this country. But they'll let the other sports have that. Let's bring him in. He's our sideline reporter for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the one and only TJ Rives. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I am a man of many hats. You always comment on my hats. I still have a few, including the old school orange back there. Always good to be with you on all these fronts. You are confirming right now that you and I are not throw-in players in any potential Rays deal that is upcoming. We are not part of the package.
I can neither confirm nor deny that I am a part of any of these deals.
How about Littell comes out of the game last night and they're like, yeah, that's the last time that you've pitched for us. We've got a deal working for you to go to Cincinnati.
I know.
Such is life. Welcome to pro sports.
That's the way it goes too with our Tampa Bay Rays. They're wheeling and dealing, and it doesn't always mean that it's, big names and a guy like Zach Littell, with so many of the young arms that they have, that he was probably an attractive asset for a lot of other teams because he can eat up innings. He can pitch out of the bullpen. Really good servant for our Tampa Bay Rays.
Our buddy Steve Carney pointed this out on
Corn
Twitter.
Dog.
Okay, 3 years ago, they got Littell for nothing.
Yeah.
And developed him into a starting pitcher that they could then flip in a trade and basically get a bona fide AAA star catching prospect. So now it becomes a little clearer the menagerie of the moves of Danny Jansen getting traded. You get the guy from the Marlins, and now you've got the prospect from the Dodgers. Can we get a catcher on the field by 2026, Jay Recher, or 2027?
Who knows, man? We might be waiting a long time for the catcher. It's funny how certain positions for certain teams, they can just cycle through and they have another good player at that spot, another good player at that spot. And then there's other teams out there that they can never find a goalie, or they can never find a quarterback. They can never find a catcher. Right? It's the Cleveland Browns, Cleveland Browns quarterback, and the
Cleveland Browns can't find a lot of things.
That you got that right, buddy. They certainly won't find
the third piece to a three-piece puzzle in Cleveland. But I digress.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's just interesting, and we'll watch there's already been a blur of activity. I woke up this morning and the A's. I saw this A's. What's the guy's name? Forgive me. I don't.
Mason Miller. Yeah.
Okay. I saw him firsthand in the A's game come in to close. And first of all, he looks about 6'6" up on the mound. I don't know how tall he is. And he's gunning 103 in the warm-ups, not 103 the temperature.
Right.
But he's warming up at 103. And I'm like, who is this guy? And now obviously the Padres gave up like the number 3 prospect in minor league baseball and 3 other things to primarily get their hands on him, if I'm correct. So there's wheeling and dealing going on everywhere.
Yeah, and a guy routinely over 100. And I thought more teams should have been in. I love San Diego going for it every single year. They're wheeling and dealing. They brought in JP Sears, a starter in that deal as well. That means that they can probably offload Dylan Cease. So Dylan Cease is a guy that a lot of people are looking at, right-hander that can throw gas himself. They did the same thing a couple of years ago with Juan Soto. They brought him in, they acquired him in a trade, and then they were able to flip him to the Yankees. Very, very smart, very shrewd businessman there in San Diego.
One more thing on this, then I know you want to talk Buccaneers and training camp, et cetera. I'm not trying to produce your show.
But you're fine.
One more thing on this is the belief. I don't know about you, many thought this was probably a 500 season, a 500 team, something like 82 and 80. It was not built to win the World Series. Who are we kidding?
Right.
This team. So they've begun to flounder. They've begun to regress back to what we thought they were going to be. Had a tremendous month of May and early June to really put themselves in contention. But at this point, you're trying to make deals for the future. You've got a new ownership group coming in. I have to believe, Jay Recher, I want your take, that the new ownership group is at least being consulted on some of this, because if they're about to own the team September, October, they should be consulted on what do we have for 2026? Are we just going to do a complete fire sale here for prospects, or what are we doing? So I have to believe that someone on behalf of that group is at least aware of what some of these moves are. So let's see. It's all about the future. It's all about the new ownership group, the new blood, get the new stadium built. And I continue to say to people privately on these kind of interviews, publicly, we're not going to remember the results of the 2025 season 5 years from now. We aren't. We're going to remember they got new owners and hopefully 4 or 5 years, they got the stadium built. That's what we're going to remember about this year. So I'm just curious how all the rest of this plays out over the next few hours today. When does the new ownership group take over, et cetera? And then we go from there.
Yeah, I think you're giving too much credit to the Braves right now. Because I don't think that I can't get burned again. I can't get burned again because we thought, hey, we're so far down the road. Shovels in the ground are next. TJ, I have no idea. I have no clue. I mean, they say that this guy's going to be the guy and the Jacksonville guy and 1.7 billion. There's still 2 other groups hanging out there. So there's still uncertainty. We can't. I mean, how many times you get fooled once, shame on who? Fooled twice. What about fooled 17 times?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? We can't go down there. So that's why
here's the critical
pushing it over.
Here's the critical part of this. Major League Baseball is intimately involved. And I know you're talking to people.
No
I'm talking to people. And this is the truth. They've basically told Stu Sternberg, take the best deal. This is the best deal. This is the deal. And so this is going to get done. I feel 100% confident this gets done because play it out. If he tries to renege on this, walk away from this, you're talking about the anvil, the 5,000-pound anvil being dropped from 9 floors up on Wile E. Coyote is coming on him because now your revenue sharing money is going to be in jeopardy from your fellow owners if you blow this up. I'm just saying this and speculating, but some of this is truth. You're going to have a financial person from Major League Baseball who's now going to be essentially overseeing every part of your organization and reporting back on where's he putting money in his pockets versus not spending it on what he's supposed to be spending it to. So rather than do all of that, why don't you cash out at a massive, massive profit that he's going to make and let somebody else try it? Because clearly as the sky is blue and the temperature's 173 degrees right now, this guy ain't ever getting a stadium built. Not in our lifetimes. It's not going to happen. And Major League Baseball knows that. So
I'm hoping that he doesn't drag his feet. Don't drag your feet. Just please.
Stay tuned. Let's see what all happens here in the next 30 to 60 days. And we go from there.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. The whole saga. It's
I know it wears on people.
I got so upset yesterday, and I was just kind of talking about the Rays, and it's just like, and I was telling T-Crash today, and like, man, I got so fired up yesterday because we shouldn't have to explain everything all the time. Like nobody wants that.
Right.
If you're constantly 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes late, and you have to tell your wife, well, I was here every single day. You're late from work. She doesn't want to hear that. Eventually, she's just going to be like, all right, tell me the truth. Like, just skip all the other BS, skip all the other minutia. Just give me the ham and cheese, man. Just give me the sandwich. Forget about all the.
It's interesting that you bring that up because literally, I just had ham and cheese for lunch. I would have given you a ham and cheese had I known you wanted one. I'm not making that up. I just had a Thursday afternoon ham and cheese. I didn't know you wanted one.
Big ham and cheese guy. Big ham and cheese guy. I'm also
underrated.
A big running back guy when it comes to what the Buccaneers have in their running back room. Sean Tucker, Rashad White, Bucky Irving. All right, TJ, give me your perspective on. Everybody loves Bucky, right? And I'm one of the few people that I'm just like, hey, let's just be careful. He's a second-year running back. There's no reason to heap 250 touches on this guy.
Right.
Chill out. Give us your impression of Rashad White and Sean Tucker and how this team is going to utilize all 3 backs in the 2025 season.
You make a very valid point. You're going to need all 3 of them, and you needed all 3 of them a year ago.
Right.
If you go back to the game in New Orleans after the hurricane craziness of Milton and everything we went through, Rashad White got hurt in that game, and Sean Tucker destroyed the New Orleans Saints that day. As Bucky Irving's run throughout the season and his rampage went on. Remember, he got hurt late in the year in the Carolina game, couldn't play the second half in the overtime. You had to go back to Rashad White and Sean Tucker. It is a given that over the course of these 17 games, you're going to need all 3 of these guys at some point. It's just attrition, the beating that you take. Are we thrilled and excited to watch the potential that Irving has as a full-time running back? Sure. But is Rashad White going to get 10 or 15 touches every game? More than likely, yes. So you bring up a great point. And if anything happens Tucker's going to be your third guy, and I liked what I saw again the other night. Keeps working hard for whatever it's worth in a practice where you're not going full blast and it's the same team. It's your team against your team, offense and defense. He still hits the hole explosively. You know, he doesn't have quite the same explosiveness who does that Bucky Irving has right now. Put that right foot in the ground, cut back, and his first step is faster than your first two steps trying to catch up to him. So I like the depth at running back, and you are going to need it all three of them. I would agree with you.
What do you see when you're looking at the tight end position? Cade Otton missing practice again. From what you saw last year, and it, obviously we know how the tight ends kind of fit into this offense. It's not going to be a high volume type position, but we did see some good things from Payne Durham. We did see some good things from my guy, Devin Culp. I've been high on Devin Culp since they drafted the guy.
I like that guy.
I think he looks like Mighty Mouse out there. He's huge, broad-chested. Like, what kind of impact do you think they can have in this new Josh Grizzard offense?
I think you've hit on the name to watch out for, especially early on in the year. What kind of leap does Culp make year two as that tight end? Payne Durham is a blocker, catches some. They're going to keep Keeft. I keep telling people this because he plays special teams, and he's a maven on that. What do I know? But I believe he will be part of the equation coming up. And for Cade Otton, remember now, they were featuring him some in the middle of the year with the injuries to Evans and Godwin. He kind of became a security blanket, but remember, he hurt his knee at the end of the year, got hit on the knee, had a knee sprain at the end of the year. They're going slow with him, but that's another guy that can be a component for this team as well. A lot of weapons at tight end, a lot of depth at wide receiver as well, and you're going to need all of it, again, over the course of 17 games for this offense.
TJ, I want to ask you about Todd Bowles. I know we spoke about this a couple months ago, but I was one of the few people here in the Bay Area that was not on the, if we gotta keep Liam Cohen, we got to get rid of Todd. I'm like, guys, that is one of the worst things that you could do, because you're talking about a leader of men, a respected coach around the league, and a guy that I think, even though he's been around football for 40 years, I think he's getting better. He's getting better as a head coach. He's not stuck in his ways. He's bringing in new coaches. He's changing up his coaching staff. He understands what it takes to be successful. And you hear other teams and other coaches. I don't know if you saw the quarterback documentary on Netflix, but Kirk Cousins singing Todd Bowles' praises because of how dynamic he is when he's calling those crazy blitzes on D. What is it like to be around Todd Bowles through the ups, through the downs, just being with that guy and to be able to, talk to him as you're walking off the field, after wins and after losses?
It's a great question. I enjoy being around him a bunch. Winning has something to do with that, but even after the losses, he understands. I mean, you do a great job with what you do. I just explain a little bit at times about what I do. I am not the media. It's not my job to put him on the hot seat and beat him over the head. He does a press conference with all the rest of you where you get every opportunity to ask him, why did you go for it on fourth down? Or what in the world was that coverage in the final minute when you let that touchdown happen? Yes, I will ask him things, but it is not a cross-examination for me, and he knows that. So we have a great relationship on getting questions and answers asked in the pregame mode, halftime real quick, and after the game. It's always fun. You'll hear me do this every single time when I'm talking to him at the half. I will say we are live so that he knows this is not the network sideline reporter that's talking to you off the air. So whatever colorful language you might be inclined to use, everybody's going to hear this sooner or later. But I love being around him. And let's say this. You're right about growing as a coach. He learned from the Jets situation, obviously, having been there. Now, let's not forget, he won 10 games one of the years in New York with the Jets. But he's learned from previously having been a head coach. He's making the most of this opportunity. And let's not revise history. When Tom Brady left 2 seasons ago, 2 years ago this July, as we sit here on July 31st, wasn't all the talk from the national pundits that this was going to be a disastrous 2023 season in Tampa Bay? That Baker Mayfield taking over for Tom Brady is such a dramatic drop-off. Todd Bowles doesn't know what he's doing as a head coach. They're salary cap strapped, which the Bucs were. How are they going to get all of this to work? And lo and behold, that team responded down the stretch of that season, winning key game after key game, won in Atlanta dramatically in the final minutes, won in Green Bay when the Buccaneers in their history Jay Recher and audience, had never won a December or later game in Green Bay, won the game in Green Bay, came back home and destroyed the Jaguars, who were a playoff caliber team. And everybody's looking around going, I thought these guys were supposed to be a joke. I thought this was supposed to be an awful season, and they went and won the playoffs, won the division and made the play. In fact, you know what? I've got the It's a Lock
Yeah, there we go.
NFC South shirt on today by pure coincidence. So he demonstrated 2 seasons ago that with everybody counting you out, we're still going to find a way to win 9 or 10 games, finish strong, win a playoff game. You look at last year. Again, the end of the year could have gone either way. But this team responded off the bye week going to New York and destroying the Giants. We went out to Los Angeles as like an 8 or 9 point underdog to the Chargers. And all everybody's talking about is how the Chargers were going to clock the Buccaneers. Jim Harbaugh this, Justin Herbert that. My friend, help me recollect. How did the second half of the Buccaneer Charger game go?
Justin Herbert was on the sideline more than you were in the second half.
Yes.
They took him out of the game. They took him. They were like, I haven't seen a team put up the white flag like that in a long time.
Because the Buccaneers outscored them 27-0 in the second half, and that got a whole lot of people's attention. This team's still playing hard for Todd Bowles. So I think all of this bodes well. You got to have a lot of confidence right now if you can stay healthy and what this looks like, because I love your point. He's growing as a coach. He's got a staff that some adjustments have been made. And you've got a culture of winning and veteran leaders that know how to win and have won Super Bowls. When you're talking about Evans and Wirfs and David and Vea and Antoine Winfield and Jamel Dean and on guys that have won a Super Bowl and can help you in that locker room. So I'm very bully. I'm very optimistic on what we're looking at with Todd Bowles in this season.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it was funny because at camp today, Mike Evans was talking to Cam Brate, who was out there hanging out with some of the guys. And, Tristan Wirfs walked by and he was like, hey, champ. And he said it purposefully, you just to remember, hey, man, we're Super Bowl champions around here. You mentioned the defensive side of the ball. Give me either a level, first, second, or third level, or a player that excites you the most going into the season.
Hassan Reddick. What can he do? I mean, that is arguably the biggest key to the defense, because everybody wants to compare this maybe to Shaq Barrett. Obviously, Reddick is better known for what he did with the Eagles, and then obviously had a disaster with the holdout with the Jets. But if that guy is, as I like to say, the real deal Holyfield here, if he can get after the quarterback with pressures and sacks, it's going to open up so much other stuff on the defensive line. So I am most curious, what kind of shape is he ultimately in here, football shape and otherwise, and how high is that motor on a 1-year prove-it deal? Because Shaq Barrett demonstrated I can turn a minimal contract into a Fort Knox situation with 1 big year. Baker Mayfield did the same thing with this team. I mean, when you contemplate that 2 years ago, Baker Mayfield was playing for $4 million, we would take that. Of course we would take that.
Yeah.
That is NFL minimum wage. And he killed it on a $4 million contract, and that's why he got paid. And Hassan Reddick and his agent, Drew Rosenhaus, who was out there today, he was around you. They know this. They know this team will reward him handsomely and has the cap room to do it. So I'm most intrigued by what that guy can bring game in and game out. I mean, if you're talking about a 10, 12 sack season or more, look out.
Do you think the Bucs will bring him back? Do you think the Bucs will bring him back if he had a season like that? Because
I think if he has a big enough season, they will find a way to pay him.
Wow. Yeah. I said that today. I wonder if, because, listen, you can't pay everybody, right? And there is a salary cap. So you wonder if Hassan Reddick, because remember, Hassan Reddick did it too. Hassan Reddick did it. He had a 1-year prove-it deal as well, and he was able to do it.
But let's look at it like this. All right. You've got a culture that we talked about. You got great weather most of the time. I mean, I know it's scorching hot right now. You got no state income tax. You got the beach readily available if you want it. You got nightlife if you want it. You got whatever you want down here with this situation. And you got an agent who's telling him, I got the same thing for Shaq Barrett. So stay tuned. I don't know. I'm not privy to all of it. But if he has a big year, don't be surprised. Don't be surprised at what they're able to do.
What did you see from Tyke Smith last year? And do you think he's a guy that can have a huge season this year, forming that 1-2 punch with Antoine Winfield?
He is a hitter. Not the biggest guy and physical. Winfield is to a degree too, but I'm intrigued by him. I'm intrigued by this Ben Morrison, who can also play some safety, the rookie from Notre Dame. And that's going to be a very interesting battle for playing time in the middle of the defense. I know everybody's buzzing about Shiloh Sanders and what can he do. Again, he's undrafted. He's going to struggle to just make the team. We're saying this, probably a practice squad guy. Stay tuned. But the safety position is going to be an interesting one because remember a year ago, Winfield was hurt for a lot of the year and down the stretch of the season. And Tyke Smith was hurt for a couple of games too at the end of the year. You got to have some depth there. But I'm intrigued out of that Georgia pedigree. And I knew from the Georgia coaches talking, this guy is a hitter and a player, even at a little lesser size than what you would think for a big time hitting safety. So I'm intrigued by him. I'm intrigued on what's there in the on the back end. You know, Zion McCullum is now a veteran. You bring in Jacob Parrish as a draft pick. You got quite a competition there in the back end of the Buck defense.
You've intrigued me with Drew Rosenhaus and Hassan Reddick because here's the thing. Remember, Drew Rosenhaus reached out to who? To get Shiloh Sanders a workout, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So the relationships between these agents and the teams, like the agents like to deal with certain teams, and you don't reach out to the Buccaneers unless the rapport with Jason Light and company is good. So that could help the relationship with Drew. Man, I think we stumbled on something good.
Maybe so.
The relationship between Drew Rosenhaus and the Bucs could mean that Hassan Reddick is here long term.
It could be. We don't know. We're not privy. We don't have coffee and donuts with Rosenhaus and Jason Light, but it could
He's paying if that's the case.
So this is how long I've been around, how far I go back. Rosenhaus goes back to the 90s with having Warren Sapp, by the way, as the prize of Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and he did multiple deals, a couple of them with the Glazers.
Right.
For Warren Sapp. So Rosenhaus has been around a long time. So stay tuned on how this gets done, but don't think for a second that he hasn't been in Hassan Reddick's ear on this is the team that took care of Shaq Barrett. And he probably put Shaq Barrett in touch with Hassan Reddick. Same defensive mind in Todd Bowles. Get after it on this defense, and you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid somewhere, and the Bucs are very good at not letting guys get away if they have them in-house. So stay tuned. Stay tuned on what happens. He's got to deliver. All right, because around the NFL right now, there's a lot of question marks that this guy's going to flake out, not put out the effort, whatever on the Bucs like he did with the Jets. He can answer that almost immediately at the beginning of this season, and I look forward to seeing him do it.
I think he will. I think that's overblown. I think the Jets were stupid to acquire him when he wanted a long-term deal, and they were like, "What do you mean long-term deal?" It's like, how do you make a trade for a guy and not know?
Exactly
and
right.
Again, Hassan Reddick, there's proof in the pudding. He had a 1-year deal with Carolina. He showed out, got paid from the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he's going to do the same thing again. Before I let you go, I want to ask you one boxing question because you know me and I love the beautiful science, the beautiful fighting game. Logan Paul, Jake Paul, we know what they've been able to do with their MVP promotions. Where do you think that they're going to end up when it comes to, because they're going to try to continuously make their way up the rankings if they can, right? They've been very smart, hand-picking, cherry-picking these opponents, MMA and boxers on the downside of their career. We just saw Jake Paul fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., which is, to me, I think the movie about his life is going to be one of the sadder ones, because I remember his 24/7 years ago, and he's out there partying and getting drinking. And meanwhile, we've watched Antonio Margarito drinking his own urine because those guys take it so serious, right? Boxing and MMA, like those guys train. It's no joke. Like they are sacrificing everything. And Cesar Chavez Jr. is out here partying. Like, dude, there's no way this is.
He was a joke. He's not the dad. He's not the Hall of Fame.
Not even close.
So I was out there, as you know, I was out there for that Jake Paul fight card in Anaheim. It was dual purpose because I was out there with the twins, my 17-year-olds, Riley and Abby, that are about to be high school seniors.
Wow,
and the wife and I, we went to Disneyland, dual purpose, as I kept calling it. And here is the photo for the Jay Recher podcast video audience. There
wow,
we were
look at that.
at the entrance. I was the only one not in the mouse ears, as you notice. So
Come
we were out
on.
there dual purpose to be at Disneyland and also at the Paul Chavez Jr. Pay-per-view. Look, okay, so it is a sideshow. It is for social media. He has handpicked the opponents. He's fought a lot of MMA guys. He's fought some former basketball players a couple of times. where that goes ultimately with contenders in the cruiserweight or the light heavyweight division. I mean, he's essentially fighting at cruiserweight. But look, Jake Paul already got millions and millions of people to tune in to watch him fight a 58-year-old Mike Tyson. So he has won. He has succeeded in creating awareness and money. His brother is more of a professional wrestler, as you know, and not that much of a boxer. So the promotion aspect of it, though, they are basically gobbling up all the top women's fighters and are properly paying them. They just had an all-women's fight card at Madison Square Garden with the trilogy fight of Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. That was, again, a sellout at Madison Square Garden and had tens of thousands watching on Netflix, tens of thousands of accounts watching on Netflix.
Yeah,
millions
I watched
of people.
it.
So they have done well with the promotional aspect of this, and boxing has needed some reform and some people taking care of the fighters for decades, and so they're at least trying to do that. So good on the Pauls, because they get all kinds of attention everywhere. I still remember watching Jake Paul on the Disney show that he was on, Bizarre Bark, with my two when they were in elementary school. We're watching that show like every day. And I'm like now around him at boxing events going, yeah, just like everybody else, used to watch you as a Disney child actor before becoming this. And let's see how much longer it goes. The belief from all the boxing people is that if Jake Paul gets in there with a skilled, talented, big fighter, it's going to be big trouble. We have not seen that yet. Stay tuned if we will see it.
Do you think he will? Do you think he makes a foray into the back end of the rankings, the 10 to 15 guys?
And he steps in there. I mean, he wants to step in there for a title fight against somebody, because if you're gonna get drilled, and he might, you're gonna get drilled going for the title, and that kind of writes the final chapter on the boxing part of it. But I don't know. He's made a ton of money doing this, a ton. Now, are you going to step in there with somebody legitimately that can harm you? Chavez wasn't going to legitimately harm him. He was bloated 40 pounds overweight middleweight or super middleweight. And it was an interesting atmosphere that night. And then you cannot make this crap up that the ICE, the Department of Homeland Security officers arrested him on Wednesday. They could have arrested him on Saturday night. We knew where he was. It was not a secret. They had billboards up everywhere. Digital marquee outside the Honda Center in Anaheim where the Anaheim Ducks play. It wasn't a secret where he was, so you couldn't make that stuff up when all of that happened.
It's it's never a dull moment in the in combat sports, that's for sure. He is Bucs sideline reporter TJ Rives. TJ, thank you so much for your time. We'll talk again, and of course we'll talk Buccaneer football, and then we will definitely preview the big match coming up in a couple of months. I mean, this thing, they've been promoting the hell out of this thing.
Canelo Crawford in September. We look forward to that. You have me on anytime you want. Buccaneer football about to be back. College football, all of it. We're here for it. Good to be with you.
Go Memphis. All right, my friend.
We'll see you later.
See ya. My guy, TJ Rives. He is awesome. Salt of the earth, man. Never having a bad day. We love that guy. He is the man. Make sure, guys, you know who else is great is our friends over at The Honest Hammer. The Honest Hammer. I love my guy, Russ, and The Honest Hammer. The crew over there, they always take care of you. They really do. I mean, they go the extra mile. There you go. Check out the website here, 813-244-0956, thehonesthammer.com. You're looking to do some renovations, kitchen remodeling, bathroom remodeling, pre-engineered metal buildings. You're looking for commercial or new construction, interior and structural renovations. If it's something residential, something commercial, just give them a shout, man. 813-244-0956. Give Russ a call. He's a Tampa Bay sports fan just like you. We always talk about supporting our local businesses. What can we do to be able to give back? This is a way to do it right here. Tell them you heard it right here on the Recher podcast. Again, 813-244-0956. Honest Hammer General Contractor Company, CGC. The number just went away. CGC 153-116, Monday through Friday, 7 to 5, Saturday and Sunday by appointment only. You can email them as well, thehonesthammer@gmail.com. If you just want to shoot the breeze and talk some Tampa sports, give Russ a call. Again, he is our first sponsor ever on the program. We love this guy. Honest Hammer as a business name is goated. Chan Leonard says, you got that right, buddy. Again, 813-244-0956, the Honest Hammer Construction. Tell them that you heard it right here on the Jay Recher podcast. TJ Reeves all over it as usual. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram. I'm everywhere. Like and subscribe on YouTube as well. We got to get those subscriptions up. Again, only on for about an hour tomorrow because I'm going back up north. Family reunion on Saturday. We'll have Braves news, Bucs news, and of course a SummerSlam roundtable. Big 2-day event at MetLife this weekend in New Jersey. All right, speaking of big events, there's another one coming up tomorrow at Amalie Arena. And of course, Mr. Tampa Bay himself. I've anointed you Mr. Tampa Bay, not Mr. 305, not Mr. Worldwide, Mr. Tampa Bay Greg Wolf. And as I've said this before with our good pal Ian Beckles, if you are at a sporting event, if you're at any event in the Tampa Bay area, and Titus O'Neil, Sonia Bryson Kirksey, Greg Wolf, or Jay Recher are not there, you're not at the right event. One of the four of us is going to be at an event.
That's fact.
And if it is, then that means it's legit. The great Greg Wolf joins us on the program.
Wow, what an intro, Jay. I almost feel like I'm not worthy of that.
I'm introing the major intro guy. You intro everybody.
This is
doing
true.
such a great job. How are things, man?
Things are good, man. Like you said, it's been a good week as far as some recognitions here for your Tampa Bay Lightning, getting the coveted.
Yeah, so what is that? Because people are asking me like that because it's a little confused. They're like, "Oh, they won the Stanley Award." I was like,
No.
Stanley Cup."
So,
I'm like, no. Calm down, people. Greg will explain it on the show today.
So the Stanley Awards, just like you know how the NFL every year they do the owners meetings where all the team they get together and they kind of review policies and they go over all of that. Well, the NHL they also do the club business meetings. They conduct this every year over the summer. Where it's an opportunity for all the NHL teams to gather in one location. This year it took place in Seattle to basically review the season. Same thing, to kind of go over what everything happened with the season, from the outdoor games and all the classic stuff and into the actual game day stuff, the Stanley Cup stuff. But it's a culmination of all the business aspects as well, and the things that take place off the ice, as well as the things that take place on the ice. And a part of these business meetings, they have what are called the Stanley Awards. And just to give you an idea of the different categories that that franchises and clubs can be nominated for: best marketing campaign, social impact and growth initiatives, social media club of the year, best sponsorship activation, best ticketing initiative, game presentation of the year, venue business initiative, strategy, analytics, and innovation. So they go through all the business aspects of the NHL and the club franchises. And for the very first time, your Tampa Bay Lightning have finally taken home the Stanley Award for game presentation of the year. We have taken out Vegas, which, as we all know, that is a big feat to do when their budget is like 10 times the size of everybody else in the NHL. So to be able to receive that award, which, by the way, it recognizes overall excellence by a club's game presentation team, including successful execution of creative, entertaining, artistic, experimental, and technically complex elements within game presentation. The first time that your Tampa Bay Lightning have secured the bag, as they say. So the crew is up there to receive the award. What you saw is basically a glass Stanley Cup, which, by the way, is made out of the glass from the NHL Stadium Series and outdoor games. They melt it down and then they make the glass from it. So it does have some lineage, some direct ties to the NHL as well. So a kudos to the entire Lightning Vision team. I'm just a very small fraction, I should say, of that entire game night production. When you look at it, there's over 60 different crew members. When you think of the amount of individuals that are involved.
So it's the whole year? It's the whole year, Greg?
What's that?
It's not just like one game presentation of one game. It's just like
it's
the overall year.
Correct. So they basically put together a 5-minute package that you submit to the league that encompasses your entire season. Like I said, from Paul Porter stuff to Greg Wolf stuff to Sonia Bryson stuff to military salutes to standing salutes to the theme games, Gasparilla, Halloween, holidays, the sponsorship elements, community heroes, Bolt's Beginnings, Distant Thunder. You got to put all that together in 5 minutes and send it off and make that impact. And of course, our team crushed it, man. They crushed it. So
unbelievable, man.
Yeah.
Somebody told me the other day, Greg is looking younger and younger by the day with the glasses, with the teeth. Like, what's going on here, Greg? Like, your beautiful wife. I mean, what are you trying to do? You're trying to step up,
I'm trying
game here?
I'm trying to stay hip with all these youngsters, man, because we're not getting any younger, Jay. I mean, this is my 19th season, which is hard to imagine. Like, you say 19 years, like, dude, you haven't been doing this for 19 years, Greg. And you're like, really? Because go back 19 years. What year was that? 2007. You're like, holy crap, that was almost 20 years ago. Like, yeah. So 2006-07 was when it all started for me. So it's crazy to think that it's been that long, but yeah, man, this offseason, it's kind of been a roller coaster of emotions this offseason, but I've kind of capitalized on some of it and put my health, first, and, have been able to, get in the gym a lot this summer. Like I said, I got the teeth, getting my teeth fixed now with Invisalign. Can't have Kobe now having the pearly whites on the block party. Can't be the only one now. So, just doing a little personal reflection and personal development, and just, again, health is wealth, as we've learned. So if I'm taking a page from my brother Titus, who's now on the King's Court, by the way, if you haven't seen him on Bravo,
wait to
with
watch
Carlos Boozer and Tyson Beckford. If you guys didn't know, our very own Titus is global now, looking for his queen. So, I mean, we did the party at Hard Rock. It was exceptional. Batista was there.
I know. I was in New York. He texted me and he was like, "I expect to see you." I'm like, "Oh God, I was away." And I ended up talking to him on this past Thursday because I couldn't be at his the Day of Giving event either. Yeah, and I just felt so bad. I'm like, dude, every year I try to go every Titus event there is, and I'm like, oh,
you're always out of town. But you know what? This is that time of year, though. Like, it's I mean, people say off season. For us, this is the time to like you said, connect with family and utilize the time that we have, because when the season's on, as you know, Jay, you're involved in all the sports. I mean, I'm soccer, which Tampa Bay Sun, believe it or not, we'll
get into that in a second.
It's all coming back here, like literally in the next couple weeks. It's like it's all going to converge with basketball and hockey and soccer and football, and so that's our busy time of the year. So the summer is our time to try to disconnect a little bit and spend the time with the ones that we love, and travel and do the things that we can do so that we can get ready and prime for the season. So
yeah,
but Brewfest tomorrow, you're not going to even be there tomorrow, dude.
I know. I leave tomorrow. So yeah, tell us about Bolts Brewfest. I mean, tomorrow at Amalie Arena. This is one of the bigger events, and it's been going on for a while now. This is one of the bigger events in the Bay, and it's really picked up a lot of traction over the years.
I mean, because it's just, again, we're in the brutalest summer I think we've had in Tampa Bay ever right now, and so the heat is just unbearable. So why not get into the icy cold air condition of Amalie Arena and take away those heat sorrows by chugging some icy cold brews. Man, there's over 50 different breweries that are represented, local breweries, national breweries, and it's not just beer. Some people think it's just beer. No, look at the world we live in today, right? There's ciders, there's sparklings, there's wines, there's seltzers. There's so many different varieties, and so now Brewfest has also adapted to that. So there's a lot of creations that were made just for this event. I do believe I saw Dennis Phillips has some sort of brew that he is working with Channelside Brewing on. That's going to debut. The Blue Line. It's going to debut, and I think he's actually pouring those beers tomorrow. So that's a new one. But again, if you love beer, if you love ice cold air conditioning, you love hanging out with your Bolts Nation, this is where you want to be. Shouts to my crew from Drybox. They'll have the Drybox golf simulator out there. We have an AI photo booth from Bella's booth. We've got a shot ski, which again, do the shot with all your friends with the ski. They've got the Stein holding contest. Where it's a lot harder than people think to hold that beer stein up for as long as you can. But there's a lot of great things happening. And if you're a VIP, you get in an hour earlier and you get into the Ashley Lounge. It's food. It's all inclusive for you as well. There's limited edition brews that are just for VIPs also in the Ashley Lounge. You've got ice hockey, literally they make a table out of ice so you can play ice hockey on it. There's just a lot of great oversized adult games. Thunderbug, myself, the Blue Crew. It's awesome. So if you're still looking for something to do tomorrow night, boltsbrewfest.com. That is the website. I would love to see you there. It's the official, for me, that's the official kickoff to the season because that's August 1st. And from there, boom, guess what? You can say officially August 1st. Hey, next month, Lightning hockey returns because preseason starts in September. So
You got that
back
right.
at it.
BoltsBrewFest.com. Any correlation to being better looking after 4 or 5 beers to the women there? Because I'm looking for a date, so I maybe next year I can.
Hey, I mean, well,
I might, it's the face for radio usually. I mean, for 10 years it was a face for radio, so I got to start hanging around these Bolts Brewfest things a little more. I might be attractive. I'll be attractive at 9:45. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. It's quite a great event. Like I said, it's one of the better events that's held every summer, and it's only grown, like you said, every year. There's more breweries coming from different locations from all across the country that want to be a part of this. So like I said, you're not just going to get local breweries. You're going to get breweries from all across the country. You've got international breweries that are coming in as well for it. And it's not just on the floor. They're all around the 100 level concourse as well. There's locker room tours. There's all sorts of cool stuff. So again, if you're looking for something to do tomorrow to get yourself out of this brutal heat, you're going to want to be inside Amalie for Brewfest.
No doubt about it. And we mentioned it a little while ago. The Tampa Bay Sun, man, to be able to be a part of that crew. You see, got the scarf right here. This is one of the OGs, one of the first ones they ever gave out at the radio station. There you go, buddy. You go. Can't beat it. I mean, so much love for Christina Uncle and Coach Denise Schulte-Brown and the entire crew. I mean, what was that like, Greg? I mean,
we've done both parades, right?
Like, it's amazing.
It's I mean, we talk about setting the bar, right? Like, how you can't set the bar any higher than you have set it for year one of the USL Super League to win it in year one, number one, but to win it in your house, number two, and then continue with the Tampa Bay traditions and have a boat parade, number three, was just an exceptional foundation to really begin this storied, chapter in this history of this franchise. So it's only going to go up from here. Like you've seen the renderings for the stadium, which I wonder now with the Rives stuff, like how that's going to kind of switch things up, but they're going to find a home, right? A new permanent home, wherever that may be. And that just goes to show you that the size and the growth of the sport for women and soccer in the United States. And I think, we are going to be trendsetters, not only for the USL Super League, but I just think for soccer in general of what the standard is. I think Tampa Bay as a sports market has really set a standard of excellence, and the Tampa Bay Sun are quickly following right in those footsteps. And again, I feel privileged to be a part of it. I know the whole crew, our production crew, we got DJ Bolt up there, Jess Dumig, we got Leslie Young, Sarah Spicer, Gabe Guzman, like everybody's passionate about it. And again, we've been literally flying by the seat of our pants in season one. We had a scoreboard. It got absolutely destroyed in the Hurricanes. They were able to get it built out and have it for the championship game, which was a game changer as far as just the presentation element of how much that elevated it, that we've missed out on that whole first season. But just, again, those are the growing pains of trying to build out a franchise and a team here at the ground level. But it's been exceptional, and it's only going to get better from here. So as they say, supply and demand, right? Blake High School Stadium only has so many seats, and now you got a championship pedigree team. I expect it's going to be a packed stadium there every single game night. And I wanted to ask you, Jay, because you're well more versed in the soccer world than I am, as I've been paying attention to the Suns' social channels. We're really adding a lot of players to this roster. Is that typical in soccer to have that much turnover? I know we had a couple retirements this past season, or a couple of girls have moved on, but is there typically a lot of shifting each season between your nucleus of players and adding more pieces to the puzzle? I'm not really that familiar. Figured you might.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You see that a lot in soccer, and I think you see it even more in women's soccer. Because, listen, they're not the top league, right? The NWSL is number one, so which is fine. So you have to find the right place for you, and you have to understand like where this kind of fits in your life, right? Because is this a last ditch effort? Are you a mom? Do you have a family? Like there's a lot more that's a lot different for the women. And now what you have is you have Tampa on the map. And we always talk about how attractive Tampa Bay, the entire region, is to people. Well, when you have an upstart league like this, and as you just alluded to, you set the bar so high. Now, when you make that phone call and you're trying to bring players in from all over the world, you say, hey, we're the Tampa Bay Sun. If you weren't getting through, you're getting through.
Yeah.
If you looked at players out there, and I'm sure that there was a lot of women soccer players around the world that were watching you. I mean, some of these games, I mean, talking about these games being on Peacock, right? You're talking about these games being available and streaming nowadays, where it's streaming used to be taboo. Like, oh yeah, it's streaming. How can I ever watch that game? No, everybody's watching ESPN Plus and Peacock and Max and Netflix and Hulu. And it's everywhere. So, you know, these games, I mean, I'm watching them in New York with my nieces, right? So it's a big deal. And the Tampa Bay Sun, again, it may not be like this for every team in the USL, you know, Super League there. There may be other teams in other cities where it's not as attractive. But in Tampa, I mean, we have the benefit of having 3 men's professional sports teams, a college D1 program, top tier D2 program, and now you have the Tampa Bay Sun. And they did it in such a way where you automatically did it right in year 1.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the win. Like, the win helps no matter what, but the way that you went about everything, the way you were able to put the game presentation together, the field looks awesome, especially on TV. And then you win. Then you're the last team standing. So there's that. It's almost the after effect too from winning. So it's not only did you have a great season, it was inaugural season, it was historic, but you also won. So you had the boat parade. So the optics for everybody in the USL Super League, it was Tampa won. Look at what they did. Look at who they had. So when you have, you know, Jordan Listro as the captain, right? She's a sponsored athlete. She's a USF grad. She's a beautiful young lady, right? She's married to a PGA golfer. You have the head coach in Denise Schulte Brown, who is one of the best coaches in women's athletics. And, you know, so like, there's just so much that goes into it of like, this is why they're a draw. This is why people love it. It's kind of similar to what the Lightning have done. Right.
100%. And I think
that you look at that, there's just so much that goes into it, why it's an attractive product. And I think if the sky's the limit, it's only going to get bigger. So yeah, it could not have gone any better for the Sun.
And again, I think the hyper local factor, like you mentioned as well about the city, but again, the fact that they have also incorporated every element of the game day to be hyper focused on Tampa, right? All the concession partners are like Burn Steakhouse and Salty Sisters and all the breweries, Green Bench, and, you know, you're featuring local brands. It's so hyper local. You've got the Pirate Water Taxi that takes you for free across the river to get to the games. They've created a game day environment that is hyper local. And again, that's how you build a fan base. And again, I think the heat wave starting from game 1, you know, to now the championship game with the drums and the chants and the smoke bombs, like they took a page out of Ralph's Mob, and that's another factor of the soccer environment, and they've done a great job of that. And it's like you said, I think it's only going to continue to grow and get bigger, and it's going to become supply and demand. So our first game where we defend the Bay is August 30th. So we're literally 30 days away from defending the Bay. So if you haven't got those tickets yet, you're going to want to go to TampaBaySunFC.com and pick them up now.
Oh my gosh. All right, before I let you go, what's the rest of the schedule looking like for you in the fall? Still involved with USF? I know people are asking.
Yes. Still involved with USF. I'm just like most USF football fans. I am pleasantly optimistic about the first 3 weeks of our season, which, let's just be honest, that is one of the most difficult schedules in all of college football to start your season, when you've got Boise State at home, and then you're on the road at Florida, you're on the road at Miami. There's no, you know, there's some rumblings right now in Florida with some injury, you know, situations. And we know Cam Ward is not in Miami anymore. And if, you know, there's ever a way to come out firing on all cylinders, it's going to be on that Thursday night at 5:30 p.m. kickoff. On like, okay, Jay, please. I mean, okay, I get it. You
TV,
can't control
man.
this. I get
TV.
it. Right, but Boise State, so what, their fans are like sitting at their lunch break watching the game because they're on that. Okay, so that makes no sense. It just,
they don't care about the Idaho.
It's just, but I'm saying, care about the Idaho. I know. It's just for our fans. Realistically, do you expect parents to take a day off of work or take their kids out of school on a Thursday for a 5:30 kickoff and the traffic around? I get it. I
opening day, brother. Opening day. You got to do it.
Let's hope they do. I'm just being a realist, and I don't think that was a favorable situation for us. However, and we're in black. We're playing in black. But the good thing is the Sun, for those fans out there that are freaking out about that, let's be real. The Sun most likely will start to have set behind Raymond James on the west side of the stadium. So the black unis for us is not gonna pose an issue. But I will be back. I am optimistic. Even if we have a hiccup those first 3 games, They can still run the table. They can still win the American Conference. Don't say Athletic Conference. It's just the American Conference now.
Yeah.
Okay.
The American.
The American.
Merkin.
And why did they choose an eagle because of bald eagle America? Okay. Anyways, I just don't like eagles. Anyways, but yes, back for football. We'll be back for Jose and women's basketball, men's basketball. I'm excited to see what the men have been putting in work this offseason.
Yeah, buddy.
You know, Coach Brian's got them. He's got them working. So I'm excited to see what this team does. Again, last season was just a roller coaster as well of emotions and AAR passing, and just we're going to have a clean slate this season. And I think the support is high right now with the stadium coming soon. I think the vibes are good, and I'm excited. And like you said, football's in August 28th and Tampa Bay Suns the 30th. It's going to be a busy week that week. So we're ready to rock.
Yeah. Brian Hodson, we were going to try to get him on the show today. He was actually at Bucs training camp today.
Okay,
wearing black himself at Bucs training camp.
He's getting used to it, man.
My man's, I guarantee you next year he ain't going to be wearing black. That's for sure. So I'm going to tell him next time I talk to him. I'm probably going to have him on the show
no doubt
next week. He's such a great guy. That is
awesome.
For sure. The one and only Greg Wolf at Greg Wolf TBL. Greg, thanks for being Mr. Tampa Bay and for joining us today. BoltsBrewFest.com. Get your tickets. Just follow Greg on social media. He tags everybody and anything. So if there's something going on in the Tampa Bay area and Greg's not there, you're probably at the wrong place. I appreciate you, brother. Give my love to your lovely better half, and we'll talk soon, buddy.
I will, man. Safe travels, bro.
Thanks, buddy. The one and only Greg Wolf. He is the man. Love chatting with Greg. All right. Make sure, again, Custom Builders, my guy, Honest Hammer, 813-244-0956. So, again, follow me on social media at JRecher. Good stuff with Greg. BoltsBrewFest.com. That should be a lot of fun. I can never go. I'm not a beer drinker, but I want to go one of these years. I definitely want to go. I want to see, the opportunity to be able to go out there and do his thing. And, I want to be able to go out there and see him do his thing. And just go out there and have some fun. It should be really cool. Yandy Diaz hit on his right forearm by a pitch in his first at bat. He checked in, staying in for now. Just trying to look and see if anything else. We know that the Rays are underway, so we'll just be on for just a couple of more minutes. I'm going to give you guys the updates on everything when it comes to the MLB trade deadline. It's a little bit quiet right now. We do know of some of the deals that we've seen so far, so let me give you some of those. We have so far, we know the Phillies have acquired Harrison Bader in a trade with the Minnesota Twins, so that helps them. Their outfield defense, especially in center field. We've already talked about the Padres landing Mason Miller and JP Sears in a trade with the A's. Now, could Dylan Cease be on the move? Could Robert Suarez be on the move? Those are two big names to keep an eye out for. Blue Jays get Shane Bieber in a deal with the Guardians. Mariners go out and get Eugenio Suarez. They bring him back to the Pacific Northwest. The Detroit Tigers are finalizing a deal to acquire closer Kyle Finnegan from the Washington Nationals. So when you look at what Detroit is trying to do, they've been fantastic in the American League this year, obviously led by Cy Young frontrunner Tarek Skubal. AJ Hinch is one of the best managers in all of baseball. Remember what he did with the Houston Astros and now with the Detroit Tigers. I still think they need some help offensively, so don't be surprised if they go out and get a bat. What happens to the Yankees? They're obviously going to go out there and try to put their best foot forward to try to bring some people in. Bullpen help, rotation help. Could they be one of those teams that's in on a Robert Suarez or a Dylan Cease? Watch out for the Boston Red Sox. I think them as well. This is why it's fun, and it's not a 3 or 4 o'clock end now. It's a 6 o'clock end to the MLB trade deadline. So I love all of the moves. If the Rays make a big deal, I'm telling you, if they trade a guy like Brandon Lau, if they trade a guy like Yandy Diaz, maybe not for a Pete Fairbanks, but if they trade maybe a Taj Bradley, we probably will go live a little bit later on today. But yeah, I know a lot of people are going to be tuned in right now to the Rays game as they finish up this series in New York against the Yankees. Oh, wait, look It's already 3-0 in the first inning. So not good for our guy, Ryan Pepio. We've already seen the Yankees score 3 in the bottom of the first inning. How did they do it? Well, they started in the top of the first inning. Chandler Simpson strikes out. Marcus Stroman then gets Brandon Lau to fly out after that hit by pitch by Yandy Diaz. Jonathan Aranda flies out to left. And then, after a ground out by Ben Rice, a double by Paul Goldschmidt, Cody Bellinger with a single, that makes it 1-0, and then Giancarlo Stanton with a home run on a fly ball to left center field, 3-0, and now we head to the top of the second inning. All right, that's going to roll it for me today. Again, don't like to be on too much when the Rays have the day game because you're kind of splitting it. You guys got to go watch your Rays, go support the local team. Follow me on all social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, live every day at noon right here on the Jay Recher Podcast. Honest Hammer Custom Builders, our title sponsor, 813-244-0956. Again, go scan the QR code. Give my guy Russ a call. Tell him you heard it right here on the Jay Recher Podcast. A big thank you to TJ Reese for joining us on the program. A big thank you for Greg Wolf for joining us on the program. We'll pop on live a little bit later if the Rays make a big move. Only on for about an hour tomorrow because I'm heading to New York for a family reunion. We will have Bucs training camp news. We will have MLB trade deadline news from our Tampa Bay Rays. And then, of course, at 12:30 tomorrow, our SummerSlam roundtable with David Shealy, Corey Long, and a whole lot more. I love you all. I appreciate the love and the support. Thank you so much for the super chats from our guy Chan Leonard and LDBC's Most Wanted. Every little bit helps. I implore you all to please help us out with the super chat. Every single bit helps. $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, whatever you can do. We greatly appreciate it. All right, that wraps it up for me. I love you all. We'll see you tomorrow at noon right here on the Jay Recher Podcast. I am gone. Peace out.